not discussing.
Okay, guys, I'm good with
So
40.
we'll just, what we'll do is we'll mention it tonight.
That would be,
I don't mind.
I mean, if you wanted another executive session, like Fridays. That sounds weird, but I would be around on like Friday.
Around here.
You're drunk.
Okay. Is that
Yeah,
your
I don't,
way?
like, I could,
We'll set
yeah,
that, we'll get that together.
okay.
You're good.
Except this Friday, but next Friday would be, this Friday, I forgot I had something else.
Are you all right?
Where'd that come from? Okay, is that an addition?
No, that is on there.
Yeah, but I didn't see that come through. No, it's there.
Are you ready? Good evening. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a short invocation?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, as we gather this evening, we thank you for this wonderful town that you've given us. We thank you for the privileges that each one of us enjoy, just like today when we get to elect our officials that we feel like should run our communities. We thank you for the privilege that it is to serve this town, and we ask for strength, courage, and wisdom. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Call to order the May 3rd meeting of the Morrisville Town Council. Gentlemen, in the minutes, there was one section, and I apologize, I didn't catch it before. I wanted to see if maybe it got corrected. Where is page? Right here. It is the part about the electrical quotes for the tornado siren, hooking the one up at the wastewater treatment plant. If you look, it has Barth Electric at $3,073 and White Electric at $3,285.98. The minutes should reflect that that is $3,973. That is what the bid was. I think that was just a typographical error there. That will need to be amended, at least on the written part. Were there any other comments or questions on the minutes?
None.
Motion to approve with amendment.
Motion to approve with the aforementioned amendment.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Dustin Shane, 5-0. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cover this real quick before we move on. While we're on that part of it, received a real interesting call from Interim Chief Shipman. He had got word that there was the Barth Electric was out working on this siren, this particular one. He went and spoke with them, and they said that they had put it on their schedule and were prepared to do the job. Miscommunications on the prior bid on whether or not they would receive this bid. It was an error. Now, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. Don't judge me on if I make mistakes, judge me on how I fix them. This is where two companies stepped up to the plate and did exactly what makes this town great. Barth Electric they stepped away from the job, they offered to finish it at no charge to the town of Mooresville. I reached out to White Electrical. White's knew that they were going to make a profit on this job. They bid it to make a profit. Reached out with an olive branch and asked them how they wanted to proceed from here. They spoke highly of Barth Electric, said if Barth was going to do it at no charge, allow them to complete it. If they had any troubles, they would step up to the plate. Technically, in consulting with legal counsel, were we obligated? Probably. But White stepped up to the plate and said, let them do it. It was an honest error. We've all made them. So that just shows the companies that we use in this town. While I'm probably the first one to cry and complain about their pricing, including our attorneys, they do help us. They do what's right for the community. Barth Electric did not get the job as far as the bid. They did do the job and they did it for free. White's Electrical said that's the way it's supposed to work and that's what we would have done. So kudos to both companies, especially to White's for being so understanding. It was a nice lead in that the minutes were wrong. I guess that gave us the section to go in there. I've already figured out where we can spend that other $3,000. No, not legal counsel. Okay. Under unfinished business, the discussion on the code codification agreement. This was at our last meeting. We talked about this. There was some concerns. Shane, I believe you were going to reach out to Baker Tilly and see where you thought maybe we could fund this. I don't know if you were able to make that call. I don't even know if any of the council still wants to do this or not.
She recommended either CCI or Riverboat. But I think her preference was CCI in the end, what she thought.
Do you know a balance on the Riverboat?
Let's see here. 19,000.
Because I know that we did obligate the Riverboat for the cemetery project.
Right.
Not sure what the balance is on that. What the balance is on the project, I guess is what I should say. So is that your line of thought there, is go with the CCI?
That's what she recommended, and ultimately that was her preference. She thought it made the most sense.
How much did you say is in Riverboat?
19,000. There's 16,000 in CCI.
Is that the unsafe building fund? I think it's.
No, I think you're talking about on the appropriated fund, right?
Yes.
Are you looking at the one dated 5/2?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Riverboat has 328,992.
No,
sorry.
That's not in the appropriated. The appropriated one.
That's right.
There's $9,000 left.
Right. And that's really close.
Yeah. So in the CCI, that's the one we have 16,000 in.
Yeah, appropriated.
That is,
Sorry, I confused. I looked at the wrong line. Sorry.
So do you want to move forward with this and fund it through the CCI?
That would be my thought, but
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Greg? Dustin?
Good.
So if you smoke out there, if you don't smoke, don't start. If you do smoke, smoke more, because that's where we get the CCI from. Huh? Is that okay? Okay, say that?
She's like,
I need that in the form of a motion.
Right after we joined the opioid lawsuit.
I need that in the form of a
I'll
motion.
make the motion to approve the codification agreement from CCI.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Shane, Jeff, 5-0. Thank you very much for getting that information to us.
I'll just add to the record, the base price is $89.95.
$89.95. Oh, are we supposed to say whether we want single and double and all that stuff at this point in time?
Yeah, we were, weren't we? I think he said we could talk about that later.
Yeah.
The new business for not doing overtime.
I think he recommended single, didn't he?
Yeah, well, I think we can always buy another one, I think.
Mhm.
You moved that correction of the opioid, you moved it up.
The credit card resolution on this, which is $12.91.
Okay.
That we were jumping out of sequence.
Under new business, when we opted back into the opioid lawsuit with the state of Indiana, we did this at our last meeting, and just a little bit of confusion there. We assigned it was done by resolution. We assigned it an ordinance, the next available ordinance number of 5. We should have signed it ordinance number 11. Resolution number 11. I did it again. Resolution number 11. It doesn't change anything that we've done. We've opted out. We've opted back in. The Attorney General accepts it as what we've done. The legal counsel that represents every community that joined in this class action lawsuit has accepted the fact that it was just a clerical error. However, to amend this or to correct this is we do need to send in our minutes where we did correct it from resolution number 5 to resolution number 11. Is that acceptable with the council?
yes.
May I have a motion to that effect?
So moved to move from number 5, 2020 to resolution 11, 2022.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Dustin Gregg, 5-0. Next item on the agenda is rezone East South Street. Is there someone here representing the property owners on this?
That's been canceled.
Oh,
That's, you get the email.
okay.
That's the email that went out. Tammy received a phone call from the gentleman that came before the plan for the rezone, and he wanted to hold off on it at this time. He didn't say he wanted a continuance or anything of that nature. So I would recommend tabling for the next meeting.
Motion to table rezone of East South Street.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Could I just ask a procedural question on that? How long do they have, because I think there's some people here that came for that issue. How long do they have to bring that back?
Up to 90 days, isn't it?
Is it 60 or 90?
So it's a little difficult for me to comment because I don't know what he requested. We should probably request something from him in writing asking if he withdrew it or if he just wanted a continuance, because it would change my statement to you as to how long he would have.
Okay.
Depending on what the petitioner elects, like you can't bring something back for a certain period of time.
It was an unfavorable rezone request from planning. So
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
it was an unfavorable rezone request from planning to us. So if he ultimately withdraws it, he withdraws it. But if he wants to bring it back, how long would he have?
If he wants to bring it back as drafted, I mean, nobody has ruled on it as written,
Oh,
correct? I mean,
So
What's
I mean,
that now?
I wouldn't consider it a dead issue until he formally withdraws his petition.
Okay.
And if
Or
he,
you get back on the agenda at any time.
if he does, formally withdraw that, then I could comment better
Okay.
as to the timeline.
Okay.
Did we vote on that? Had a motion and a second. Dustin, Jeff. All in favor of tabling?
Aye.
Dustin, Jeff, 5-0. I don't know if you voted or not. I didn't put it on here.
We had already voted.
What's that? What's that? Anyone here? Yeah.
Will we just have to keep watching for the agenda to have it back on the agenda? Is that how we'll be re-notified, or will he have to send us letters again, or?
You can always come to address the situation, during public comment. It was tabled. It's
I
hard.
just didn't know how we would be notified it was back on.
Any
the agenda.
notice requirements he would have to, if it's continued to the next hearing, the requirements for notice would have to be the same as they are for tonight.
So we should get another certified letter from him then?
You
I
didn't,
don't know what he requested, so I'm sorry, I can't. We can investigate that, and if it,
I would keep an eye on the agendas. Well, we're talking about the rezone on South Street. Is that why? Yeah.
Well,
he's still gonna have to do a notice.
well, you have to give them notice that it's coming to us. He's already given them
Just to the
notice.
next hearing date, I would just put it on the next date.
Did you get a green card and a certified letter for this meeting?
No.
I didn't-
For the first
For the planning commission meetings?
planning commission, yes.
Because what our normal sequence is, the planning commission gives us a recommendation, and then it's not the next meeting, but the following meeting,
Okay, which would be today.
which would be today.
But since we tabled it, it'd be on the next agenda anyway, correct?
Yes.
Green card, we're going to move it to our next agenda.
Okay. Thanks. Sorry.
I knew that would be a question.
Credit card agreement resolution. Diane, do you want to jump on this?
This is Resolution 12, 2022, asking, actually just updating our current credit card agreement that we have with Citizens Bank. It needed some language change and some updates, and I just passed that over to legal probably beginning of the year. And I'm just now getting it on the agenda because I thought this was a good opportunity to slide it in since we had less agenda items tonight. So it's just cleaning up the language that I worked with Beth Copeland with TAP Law, getting that accomplished.
Comments or questions?
I'm good.
Beth, did you have anything on this? I didn't think it.
Call me Jewel.
Jewel,
Don't do that.
this late.
You're punching distance.
No comment.
Is there any changes to who can use the credit card from what it's always been?
No, it's basically department heads in the clerk treasurer's office.
Okay.
And I did recently request an increase on their credit card limit, basically because I was getting a lot of phone calls when our police department would go to any type of conference, and due to the, just that, when they use their card, depending where we're at in the billing process, they had already reached their limit. So I went ahead and I had the authorization to go ahead and up their limit to 5,000 from 3,000.
Any more comments? Questions? Motion.
Motion to approve for Resolution 12, 2022.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Justin Gregg, 5-0. Next item is the discussion on wastewater treatment staffing. We are still working through all of our agreed orders with IDEM. Things seem to be going extremely well. We have learned a lot of process changes. The great thing about having HNTB in there working with us is the fact that they were also the engineers and designs on it. We have had some aha moments where we didn't know the equipment would do the things that it would do. They've had the same moments. They've also asked at one point in time, why doesn't it have this? And our response was, we don't know, you designed it. So they figured out a way to make that work. We are having a little bit of issues with staffing there, and part of the processes that we're going through, part of the processes that IDEM is recommending will take at least one more member within the department. They have not fully staffed their department after the loss of one member back in 2010 or 2011. There was a hiring freeze there. That's when times were really tough, and there was a hiring freeze, and they've never been given permission to fill that position back. I have not crunched the numbers. I wanted to make sure that it was acceptable with the council if I go through and try to figure out benefits, salaries, and everything like that, and if it's within the budget to bring back to the council a possible additional employee within that department. I guess I'm just wanting permission to move forward with it.
I'm good with it.
Shane?
Yeah, I'm good with it. I do think, though, that we should try to have them come in, somebody from there come in and do department head reports, because we never see them.
I know that their department head was planning on coming, but I know that he's been not able to.
I understand, but if there's someone else that could come in and give a little update once in a while.
I will try to have that information at our next meeting. Department head reports.
Well, we only have one.
Good evening. So I apologize for not being here last council meeting. I had some family issues come up I had to take care of and address. Just basically, it's more for legal counsel, and I'd shot an email off to Jewel about the antique fire group truck that we have is wanting to donate that. I'm just basically following up and trying to figure out, and also for the council, if we want to move forward with that. They're just basically wanting to use the 501c that they have with the Morgan County Community Foundation and use the town's 501c basically. If the council doesn't want to do it, then we'll drop that and report back to that. If they want to move forward and get that antique fire truck back into town that was Mooresville's very first fire truck, then we'll continue on allowing them to work on it and move forward and go from there. So, discussions, comments?
Has Jewel updated you on this issue at all?
The last I was aware was that a different nonprofit had the idea of doing what they wanted to do. I had not heard the recent update.
Okay.
I apologize.
No, that's fine. And I was out last week, so I shot an email off to Jewel earlier yesterday.
Okay.
And I hadn't heard anything, so I didn't know what was going on. I was going to try to catch him tonight, so.
Sure. I would be more than happy to talk, to see if the analysis changed with regard to the city's status.
Could you just repeat what they want? They want to donate the truck to the town, but they want to keep the right to maintain it or
They want to
restore
donate
it?
the truck to the town with the understanding that the town will never get rid of that truck ever again. Because it was my understanding from past fire chiefs and the Roger Birchfield, which actually got the truck back to the town, that it was to stay in the fire department. Well, Chief Metzger kept telling the group, the town does not own any fire trucks. I have now got them understanding that the town owns the fire trucks, the fire department does not. So therefore, that's why they want to donate it with some type of legal contract or something that says that the town will never get rid of that fire truck. But
Has it been fully restored, or are they still working? They're still
they
working
are still
on it,
working
correct?
on it. They were actually there last week, and they've got the truck running, which was pretty amazing.
Do they want to donate it and continue restoring it with their own money? Is that what?
Correct. They're going to raise the money, they're going to keep donating and just put the money back into a non-reverting fund for the fire department.
Oh, so they want to change where the funding's stored? They
They're
want to store the
they're
funding here.
losing about 8 to 10% at the Morgan County Community,
Okay.
Morgan
I was
County
going to say that
Foundation.
they take, the foundation itself takes a fee back from,
Administer the
Yeah.
account, yeah.
Yeah.
So where here, it would just basically stay, and whatever they raise, it just stays with the town, and they understand that they'd have to turn it into invoices, and everything had to be documented through the clerk's office and all that stuff. So,
The town would then insure it? Can you insure something like that?
So I was aware of the the original analysis of what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
But if it's a donation to the town, there would be other items that would need to be discussed, such as, what's the purpose of it? Is it going to sit somewhere? Is it going to be used? Does it need insurance? Is it display?
my understanding is more or less it's going to be on a display, pretty much, and then throughout the Old Settlers parades, get it back out on the streets and just run it down the street for the Old Settlers parade, and that'd be about it. It's not going to be utilized.
Right. But if it is on the street, would it need, the licensing, if any?
I know right now,
City licensing.
I've kind of looked into it a little bit. It's going to be a process to get it titled, because there is no title back then, and there is no VIN numbers on that vehicle. So it's going to take some time.
so why don't we do this? It sounds like we have more discussion. Why don't you work with legal to work through this, and then we'll get a better grasp of it when you.
Fair enough.
I think it's a neat idea. I just want to
I do too.
Yeah.
It's just,
And thank them for offering,
Yeah, it's a
Insurance.
19, and Tom might know, it's 1923.
I think it is a 23.
I think it's 23 or 33. I can't
We bought
remember.
it the year after I joined the council.
Okay. 1924.
19. No.
I have nothing further. Unless you guys got any questions?
Real quick, how do we know this is actually our fire engine? Is there documentation, or do we know the history of it, where we sold it?
Roger Birchfield had basically got all that stuff. Our chaplain, John Leffler, has all that stuff documented. Roger Birchfield, and
Right.
he tracked it all down and found it and verified that it was our fire truck that we first bought back in the 20s. So,
Interesting.
which is pretty neat. We have pictures of it, so
Good, yeah.
they're just trying to get it restored back to where the
Yeah.
original vehicle was.
not talking about the old fire truck over there at the Legion Hall?
No, that is a different fire truck, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I think it's worth doing.
Yeah.
It's just getting through typical red tape to get there.
Yeah. So I'll keep moving with your guys' blessing. Thank you.
You're awesome. Don't spread a rumor.
Other department heads? Legal counsel. You have anything?
No.
We had the, on there, the create a comprehensive comprehensive plan non-reverting fund. I think Jewel has been working on that.
Yes, yes, so we'll table that.
We'll do that on the agenda was the non-reverting. I don't think they're anywhere near done with our plan, not even to the 50% point, so we'll move on from there. Next item, public comments.
There's a sign-up sheet here, sorry.
Oh,
Some maybe for the rezone though.
Rob Samuels, you're first. When did you sign that? Did you sign that last week? Is that how you got first?
So you have grown a beard. It's been a minute.
No, I just haven't shaved. I've been working from home this week. So, brief and quick here. Two corrections to make from last meeting. That I won't say misspoke. One was a misspeak. One was not enough information. So first off, with Brock Chipman, when I said he has 5 to 6 years experience, that's just on Mooresville Police Force. So that's not counting his 4 years with ISP Capital prior. So he has 10 years total police experience. So correcting myself in the record on that. Secondarily, I've talked to a few of you. I don't want to paint the whole council as, oh, you guys are anti-police, bashing the police, because that's not the case. I've gone through trying to do factual information. So, like I said, don't want to paint everybody as, hey, the whole entire council is bashing the police department or any individuals, because that's not correct. So anyone can go through the last several meetings and see my points. I'm not going to cover them because I'm tired and it's primary night tonight. Still have a question I asked last week about the boards, like what all boards can council members sit on? Is there a limit to how many boards or committees a council member can be on? And then if a council member can, or if the council itself can change those rules, because I know some are statute, some may be council. So I hadn't heard anything about that, so just wanted to bring that up again. Then the last quick part here is, I've talked to Jewel some, and I've gone through the employee handbook for Mooresville on public records request, and I don't see anything in the handbook like notifying employees of like record retention and what to do if there's a public records request. Handbook's old, and I think I read somewhere where Dustin, you were working on revamping that at one period.
Yes.
One time, and we still have one that looks like it's hand typed. But going through there, the only thing I saw in there was you're using company email and stuff, and the town can view that at any point. I didn't find anything anywhere in the employee handbook, so I don't know if there's secondary training that department heads do, if there's other information that's given out, but as the clerk's office can attest, putting in those records requests, just want to make sure employees know, hey, if it's town equipment, town emails, personal email, or emails, town business on your personal email and devices, that's all covered. The police commission attorney made it real clear at their last meeting what was covered. But yeah, I couldn't find anything in writing, so don't want to see where an employee or council member or anyone like destroys a personal phone, erases anything, may not know what the consequences are. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. Don't know if there's anything out there, but if there's not, I would highly suggest looking at that, because Shane has a bunch of people that have started filing public request information. after you had said, hey, it's all public record. So just wanted to bring that to your attention to see if there is anything, make sure there is something, because I don't want to get the town in liability of people doing something to try to hide something that then comes back and bites the town. So that's all I have. Thanks.
No, thank you.
Jane Smith?
I'm just here to talk about the rezone, but I don't know if you guys want me to come back, or,
You know what? You have the floor.
well, let me just read what I wrote up real quick then, but because, I mean, she's saying she doesn't know about this, but Aaron Mullen is wanting to rezone the Woolley Company from I-1 and 2 to I-3, Industrial 3. And he, at the last meeting, had said that that had been a sawmill forever, way before any of the houses were there. And I'm like, no, I live at 259 South Park Drive. I've been there for 39 years. My grandparents lived there before that. They actually sold a quarter of their acre to the state. And that the back side of their property is basically where the bridges over 144 and 67, and that they used our driveway to get down to 67 in 1959, and my mom was born in the house in 1932. So most of the houses around here in that area were built in the early 1900s and 1920. And in the original meeting, he said that we moved in here knowing that this was zoned I-1 and 2. And I would argue, no, you bought the property knowing it was zoned I-1 and 2. I mean, you knew what it was. And he's saying he has to change the zoning in order to be able to either sell it or do anything useful with it. And I'm like, well, you knew that when you bought it. Our houses, there's a lot of houses that have been there forever. And I just didn't know if South Street's supposed to be industrial or residential. If it's industrial, then why are we building all the industrial stuff down south? But anyway, the purpose, and when I was really glad to see this consolidation thing that's going on with the, trying to get all the things in one place. Because Dave Morris said, well, go read the UDO, and I'm out there, I'm going, oh, here's a zoning ordinance too. And there's discrepancies between them. In the UDO, it says, they're similar in this case where it says the I-3 district is to provide for employment centers for more intense industrial uses that typically generate heavy demands on the transportation system or rail system. The uses may cause odors, dust, noise, and vibrations, as well as generate significant amount of truck and freight traffic, which, living directly across from the veneer plant, the Thysian veneer plant, I get lots of semis all day long anyway. And so, but in the Mooresville zoning ordinance, it states on page 17 that the district is designed for industrial uses that are not confined to a building, but use hazardous materials that create water pollution, noise pollution, and air pollution, which require on-site treatment, that need unlimited outside storage and unlimited hours of operation. This zone should be located where significant buffering from non-industrial land uses can be provided to protect the health, safety, and values of neighboring properties. So, that's straight out of the documentation. It also says in the zoning ordinance on page 17 that an I-3 requires 10 acres, but I can't find that in the UDO. So I'm like, there's one of those discrepancies between them. And the other thing that I noticed, and he is in his documentation, I made copies of these, I can give them to you now.
We have them in our packet.
Well, this is what I've gone through, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I did on these was I went through and I looked at each one of them.
Thank you.
And compared what is in the UDO versus what is in his narrative. I'm just going to cheat you here, Sean.
Okay,
There's two of them there. Can you pass
Yes,
to your neighbor?
sure.
I was gonna say, here, let's stand up and grab that.
And anyway, what I did was went through them and just basically marked
Thank you.
that so many things. I'm sorry. Does everybody have one? Everybody's got one.
We got it.
You can see that there are, when you look at this list, the things with the arrows are the things that can go on, that are required to do an I-3, okay? Like item A, he can put an automobile repair service in there as an I-1, no problem. The B, he can do that with an I-1 with a special exception, or an I-2. The C, on the C, liquid fertilizer, that requires an I-3, but it also requires 10 acres. So when you go through this whole list, The only thing that's gonna be allowed on that are those 6 items, okay? Those 6 things with the little lines. And of those 6, the one he's wanting to put on there is outdoor storage, or outside storage. He wants to put in a facility to store boats and campers and RVs. And so, if that would fail, then that says the only thing we can put in there on an I-3 would be a concrete plant, heavy manufacturing, a transfer station, resource recovery facility, a water treatment plan, or a water treatment plan, and I just don't know which one of those 5 items belongs in a housing addition. When you go through the process of it, because any of those other items that are on his narrative can be done on a 1 or a 2. So there's lots of other things that he could do on there without taking it up to a 3, which introduces some things that are pretty nasty for a neighborhood. So he also said it was going to provide more jobs. I'm not sure how that works, because if this is just someplace where you're going to drive your boat in, you're going to sign a contract with him. He's going to give you a key. You're going to have free access to it. So I don't know where the extra employees are. And he does have other properties. He owns 240 South Madison, which is a house that caught fire and he bought, and he's knocked that down. Then he owns the tow yard, which is basically a junkyard. It's directly across from Core and behind that property. And then he owns that little junkyard that's between the car wash and Mathis Realty. And then he owns 200 East South Street, which is on the north side of South Street. And he's not wanting to rezone that. He's just wanting to rezone, because that was one of the questions I had last time. He's just wanting to go with the south side, where the old lumber company was. But that east side is already full of junk. It's been sitting full of junk for years. And right now he's leasing it to NDOT so that it's full of their equipment. And so I'm just looking at this going, everything that he owns there is a junkyard. And he said, I don't want to put a junkyard in there. And yet it doesn't really look like, well, from the way I'm looking at it, I see everything else as junkyards, and I don't know why this one would be any different. But anyway, he also stated that this wouldn't cause any damage to the property's values. And I'm like thinking, I don't know about you, but I think this would affect the property values in that area. And he knew what it was when he bought it. He knew it was an I-1-2. And I just am not sure that he should be able to make money at other people's expenses. I mean, if he's wanting to sell this and make some money off of it, or put something in there that he's got to make such an improvement to make money that it's going to cost other people value in their properties, then I'm just not sure that is. I just don't like that idea. So I don't know that that's right for the people in that area. So, and I know there were a lot more people at the zoning meeting. There were several people that got up and talked. And so there were not as many here, because I don't know if everybody understands. And they didn't get that second letter. The first letter, we all got certified letters saying, this is the date. And we didn't get a letter to inform us of this one. It was just like a verbal thing. And people were like going, what date is that? I don't, And so unless you're on Facebook or you call the office to find out exactly, when the dates are and if this is going to be on the agenda, that's why I asked how we would know when it would be back on there. Then you don't really pay a lot of attention to it. That's bad on us as citizens, but we just kind of let y'all run crazy like you do. So anyway, that's all I have to say. I mean, I just want, to let you know what research I've done in it, and that I think he has lots of other opportunities to, I don't know how that works. I don't know if it's an I-1 and 2, if he could put a business on there. Can you go down but not up? I don't know. Because everybody's going dog park. Let's put in a dog park. I'll put a dog park over there. That's a nice area for a dog park. I'd rather hear dogs barking than semis running all night long. So, because I already got that anyway. It's the highway. So. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Did you have a question, Shane?
I'm not going to ask questions tonight because I think it would be unfair to the petitioner.
Yeah, that's
fine. But I just want to tell you that, it should be on the next agenda, correct? So.
17th.
That's
Okay, if he doesn't back out, because I know when he first came in, they said, well, to have an I-3, you have to have like a 6 or 8 foot brick wall around it or something. That's another thing. The UDO and the zoning ordinances are different there's differences in the fencing that he's required, and he was really taken aback by the fence that he was going to have to put up. So I couldn't really, it's really hard to hear when you're towards the back, which I'm like usually sit up front, but there were some concerns on his part about the fence that he's got to put up, and the fence that he's put on there now, he's put that black stuff on. I walk past there every single day, and it's already starting to come off. So anyway, yeah. So no, I don't have a problem with that at all. I mean, that's fair because he should be here too. But at least I've got it out. I practiced.
Yeah, you did well. Yeah.
I have cheat sheets.
You've done your research.
I do. I mean, I'm a detail person, and so when I see something like this, and like I said, we've been in this town forever, you know, so, I mean, anyway,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Lori Riley?
She left because she was with me.
Okay. Any other comments? Motion for approval of payment of claims.
Motion to approve claims in the amount of $642,993.98.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Dustin, Jeff, 5-0. Council comments. Jeffrey?
I have none.
Shane?
I have a couple. One, the 200th anniversary committee, we've been meeting quite a bit. The executive committee, I should say, went really well last meeting. They have several ideas that they're putting together. It's highly organized. And I don't know, do you know how many volunteers we have so far? Is it 40, 50? Yeah, there's a lot of people starting to get involved for 2024, so it's going really well. On the comprehensive plan, the town comprehensive plan, we've had a meeting, and those are, people are starting to look at inviting people to participate in that on the steering committees, and Shannon Cole has also asked to start meeting with certain people like Dave Moore from the town. He's gotten an email from them, so that process is started and underway as well. That's all I have.
Gregory?
Good, thank you.
Dustin?
One thing, the RDC voted to form a subcommittee to look at future projects. They've narrowed it down. They have already approved 2 members. They're looking for town council participation with 2 members on the RDC. I cannot serve because that would be a quorum. In all respect to the public, I am not going to violate that law. Plus, also, it's less work off me. So you 4 can dogfight it out on who would serve on the subcommittee looking at future projects such as Main Street, new Shell buildings, blah, blah, blah.
Whoa.
Not mine.
You're out.
I have served on so many committees that I can't even count at this point. So they gave me an out on this one. If you would like a recommendation, I would be happy to throw somebody on there.
Go ahead.
Well, since you sprung that on us, why don't we come back next week? You guys think about it. Think about how well you want to do this, how much you want to do this.
I was going to say, we have a meeting Thursday, so the subcommittee was wanting me to bring that up. So I will address them Thursday as the process is underway.
Anything else?
And that be part of the meetings, or?
There would be separate meetings with the RDC representatives. This could be, we're looking realistically at 2023, 2024 construction season. So you got a long while to contemplate, see, but the faster we get our plans together, our bids in with inflation, materials, it's better to get in now than later. So. That's my 2 cents. I'm out.
Now,
Out. Dustin, out.
Tom, I forgot to mention, I think we should thank the Clean Up Mooresville folks that participated in that I think that was last Saturday. There was a lot of people that participated in Clean Up Mooresville. I know Mindy Taylor at the Chamber worked on that. Did you? Yep.
Yeah.
You did.
There was a bunch.
City Changers did. There was a lot of people. It's the Joe Bikeman Memorial Cleanup, so I think we ought to thank them for participating. Yeah.
thank them and
Yeah.
remind them that can be 52 weeks out of the year.
Yes.
Budget hearings. We said that we were going to have budget hearings. Do you gentlemen want to have them during the day? Do you want to have them at night? Do you want to have them weekends? Do we want to have them, I think weekends are tough. Especially-
So for me, with young ones, it depends on the day. I still punch a clock, so not salary, obviously, business owners, things like that. To give my 2 cents, it really, we need to schedule it out, and I can make it work. I prefer no weekends, though.
No weekends? And evenings better or?
Well, the front part of the week is better for me, just my current schedule. I've kind of just said, front of the week is council or town business stuff. Later on in the week is worse.
Jeff, what days do you have off?
On rotate, so this all depends how long they go. Obviously earlier in the evening is better for me, but I don't want to get in the way of your business either. Closing at, what time, 5?
5:30, if we could do
Whatever.
5:30, as long as everyone doesn't mind me coming stinking and smelling, which I do now. But, well then, why don't we have, if, with council's permission, have Diane reach out to Paige, give her a few evenings that we can do that, and then we'll go from there, starting at 5. Can you do that?
Are you sure 5, or do you want 5:30?
5:30. 5:37 if you could, well, 5:28.
5:27 and a half.
To answer the one question, and she left, the green cards never have gone out for our meeting.
No, not
Is
all.
that correct? Does that, don't know. Okay, never mind.
I
We'll address that in a
apologize,
minute.
we should probably talk about that.
Okay, that'll be good.
I have a question. Are we going to schedule this as a council workshop? This budget hearing meeting?
It should be noticed.
Yes.
Okay.
It would have to be noticed, I mean, it's a
Right.
public meeting.
It'd be a public meeting.
It will have to be noticed.
Yes.
Hearing,
Meeting.
meeting. Okay, just want to make sure I get this right. Okay. And where are we going to hold the meeting at?
Is everyone gonna be 21 that comes?
We could do it at the
But I just
park.
know that
Here,
Yeah.
I think here is probably
here,
good.
here, probably.
Okay, here.
here. Okay, because
I do
typically
like the
we like to
21
have
and everything.
calculators and being able to,
We'll
We'll do it here.
Oh, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
just want to make sure.
We'll use them solar powered ones. Next meeting day will be Tuesday, May 17th. Are you gonna be here then too? Is that what you
I
said?
will be.
Can't wait.
I know. I'm excited.
Want to do it about 6:30?
That'd be
If
great.
you could.
6:30, Tuesday, May 17th. Need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye. That's 5-0.
I'm more concerned with the fact that in 2
Okay.
weeks,
It's mid-May.
There you go. Oh, yeah.